Thank you very much for that. That's a very nice introduction by the Secretary. It's a hard act to follow when somebody like that talks for you, and I'm honored to have your words. I'm honored to have Superintendent Tom Luna, Milford Terrell, and John Bujak on our team. We have a very big team that we've been putting together for the past 10 months. We're very excited about it. The biggest part of my team is right here next to me. It's my wife, Kirsten, and our two kids are out probably running around, William and Abe. Thank you. I am an Idaho son. I was born in Twin Falls and raised in Jerome. I was blessed to grow up in a loving family that showed me the values and determination and what that meant by example and the expectation they had for each of us. My family instilled in me a tremendous sense of gratitude for having been born in this great nation. They taught me to contribute and to aspire, and that through hard work, opportunities were limitless for us. I want my children, and I want all of your children, to have similar faith in the future. As things are today, I fear they do not share that same confidence. For the past 10 months, folks, I have traveled up and down this state, talking to many Idahoans, and doing something that a lot of politicians don't do anymore, for fear of tough questions, listening. It's amazing what you can learn when you listen. I've looked the citizens of Idaho in the eye, and they have shared with me their deepest fears and their greatest hopes. They have told me they feel as if their voices are falling on deaf ears in Washington, and that their current representative is a part of the problem, and that their government now seems to be something that is imposed on them rather than something that is for them. They are worried about jobs, making mortgage payments, paying for health care, and what type of a country do we as Idahoans turn over to that next generation? Insecurity has grown into frustration and even anger. We've watched the federal government spend billions of dollars on huge bank bailouts while our community banks fail. We've witnessed billions of dollars being spent to keep bankrupt businesses operating while our small businesses at home struggle to meet a payroll. We have seen $800 billion stimulus bill rush through Congress, and a year later, our unemployment reaches 10% and a record 15.3 million Americans are out of work. Folks, Idahoans are furious as our national debt is expected in the next decade to exceed $10 trillion of debt. For you and I, our kids, that's $33,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country. It's unacceptable, it's unsustainable. This current Congress has let us down. Many of the challenges confronting us here at home transcend state lines. Whether it's strengthening the economy, keeping down healthcare costs, or helping small businesses. I look at Idaho and I see our state being haggled over by politicians who are unaccountable to the people and are more concerned about self-preservation. My friends, it is time for accountability. It is time to usher in a new era of leaders who will do what is right. Today, we set off for a new destination where our core values and principles as families, as neighbors, and as countrymen are waiting to be rediscovered and restored. I'm humbly asking all of you to join me on our journey, a journey that begins here and takes us to Washington, D.C. Together as Idahoans, we can reclaim our future and restore hope and restore this back to the people. My fellow Idahoans, like you, I am frustrated and angry with the current direction that Congress is taking us. Today I am asking you to send me to Washington and fight for our state and fight to give this seat back to the people. And today, Today, a very special day, I am officially declaring my candidacy for the United States Congress of the 1st Congressional District of this great state. Thank you. I believe public service is a calling, and when the call is answered, we bring with us a set of guiding principles that we see lived out in our daily lives, in our families, in our churches and communities. Things like faith, courage, hard work, personal responsibility. These are the core values that have been with me my whole life. We are all at our best when we do something beyond ourselves. I've served our nation over the past 18 years, making tough decisions. I have lost men in combat, and I've led men back into combat after such losses, and ultimately, I've returned home to see the families of those that have lost sons. I know firsthand the commitment it takes to keep our nation free. From these years of service, I've seen many sacrifices by our countrymen, but they proudly step forward out of a love for country. I'm running for Congress because I refuse to stand idly by and watch this current Congress take us in the wrong direction. Thank you. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and I will not see this country fail. This Democrat administration and Congress continue to make decisions and pass legislation that weakens our nation. During this important election, we are called to reaffirm our values and commitments and to hold them against the hard reality and see how we measure up against the legacy of our forebears and the promise to future generations. We have much work to do. We have work to do for the high-tech workers that I've met in the Treasure Valley. Their jobs are moving overseas, and they now compete with their children for jobs that pay minimum wage. You know, I'm reminded of in Nampa, I met a family who had a small business, a 40-year family business. And I met and talked to the mother and the father who owned it, the husband and wife, and it was failing. And they choked back tears saying, "We don't know what's next. What do we do?" We have work to do for them. As I travel the district, the Idahans I meet, they don't expect the government to do things for them and to define and solve their problems, but they do expect that their tax dollars are not wasted on government-run health care, billion-dollar bailouts, or failed stimulus plans. To Bonner's Ferry, the message is the same. We all the same throughout the state are saying the same things. Idahoans want a limited government, one that follows the Constitution, a government that seeks to work with small business, not against small business. We believe in self-determination and self-reliance. Let Idaho and our nation compete free, unhindered by unneeded and unwanted government regulations, and we will succeed. In this election, I offer you that choice. I believe in an America where hard work is rewarded. Instead of offering billion-dollar bailouts, I want to offer tax breaks to our small businesses that create jobs here at home. I believe in an America where we pass market reforms to reduce costs and increase access to health care rather than a government-run system. I believe in an America that responsibly harvests our natural resources, where our miners, loggers, ranchers, and farmers can put Idahoans back to work with real jobs and create real wealth in this nation. I believe